Thought I would give a personal update, my first update in July. Barely uploading these days. I still got to get all those shorts I promised in my last live stream edited and uploaded. But I had my 8th weigh-in, counting the weigh-in at the beginning of recalibrating and really focusing on the most austere version of a carnivore diet I could come up with. And after 8 weeks, I have lost exactly 40 pounds. And I am very happy with the progress. And the key word is progress. This is, as we say in the world, a good start. Onward and upward, or downward, as it would be in this case. Downward in terms of numbers. A few things I've noticed, though, is here, about week 8, I'm still pretty low energy. Some of that might have to do with my inability to consistently get in the gym. I will be perfectly honest with that. I've been inundated with work lately, which keeps me from being able to be as consistent there as I'd like. The other issue is we've had some weird weather here, and it tends to, with the barometric pressure dips, inflame old gym injuries. Randomly, out of the blue, I had my wrist hurting, which kept me from doing anything at the gym, because at the same time, I was having some knee pain from an old knee injury. So at the same time as that was happening, which was caused by storms rolling in and out of the area pretty frequently. And when both your knee and your wrist hurt, there's not much you can do at the gym. So I stayed home, unfortunately. But I still lost a fair amount of weight that week. And by weight, I mean body fat. And I know it's body fat because my marker numbers at the gym are improving, as they should. I'm getting my bench press back. My deadlift is returning. In fact, I'm getting more mobility now, which is good. I had, when it comes to the deadlift at the gym, I had been taking it a little easy on that because I could not get down as low as I would like just due to the mobility issues that come with carrying a whole heck of a lot of extra body fat. And I've been able to get down lower, and my strength has gone up on that, which is good. More day-to-day markers. I haven't been doing measurements. Instead, I've been just using the old-fashioned kind of measurements. Do I need to go from not needing a belt to needing a belt? Do I need to start swapping out my pant sizes and my shirt sizes? And the answer to all those questions is yes. That has been happening. And I'm quite happy to report that. Those are the main markers, really. So let me talk about what it is I'm doing precisely. The non-carnivore item I'm having predominantly is coffee. A lot of people say you're not really carnivore if you're doing coffee. Well, some rather high-profile carnivore influencers, people with much bigger channels than this one, have admitted that they drink coffee every day. They tried quitting coffee. It was a non-starter for them. Once it was just bad to be around them, and they gave it weeks and weeks and weeks, and it made their lives miserable. I can report the same thing. I went without coffee for a couple of months, and my wife was very happy when I started drinking coffee again. Yes, I know, that's a sign of addiction. Okay, I'm addicted to caffeine. I admit it, whatever. But otherwise, every single day, 6 days a week, I consume one meal a day. 1 meal a day. It's typically a ribeye or flank and cut ribs. For the 4th of July, I made a smoked a brisket. I did put spices on it. I don't typically have problems with spices. So, although usually I just stick to salt, maybe a little black pepper. And yes, I know about the oxalates. I don't have problems with spices. They haven't stopped me from anything. But most of the time it's just salt on the flank and cut ribs or the ribeye or the chuck eye steaks or whatever. I'm going for 66 to 70% fat each day. And I do it 1 meal a day. As I mentioned in the live stream I did recently on this subject, miraculously, finally, after several years of complaining about this, my body is finally starting to get its hunger and its satiation signals restored. So when I do 1 meal a day, oftentimes I start losing interest, and I have to force myself to make sure I get a certain amount of fat and protein. It's almost gotten to that point. You might ask, well, why are you forcing yourself? Because I do this pretty austere fasting 1 day a week, which I'll get to in a moment. Again, make sure I get a certain adequate protein because of my gym habits and to prevent muscle wasting. And also the fat for all the obvious reasons in the carnivore space. We get the amount of fat we do. Once a week from Thursday at about noon after I finish eating my 1 meal to Saturday at about noon after I finish eating, when I start my 1 meal, I do a total fast. I do it for a few reasons. First is, I'm a pretty religious guy, actually. I'm a Catholic. I keep to the old fasting rules, which on Fridays, fish or I could eat eggs, I would, but I can't eat egg whites. That's one reason. But the other is I need the fasting for all the reasons people do fasting, with disciplinary reasons, spiritual reasons, and dietary reasons. And I kind of suspect the 1 meal a day plus the austere fasting once a week have been kind of the driving points of at least fixing my hunger and satiety signaling. Add to the list, by the way, of what I eat is bacon and egg yolks. And occasionally a little bit of mustard if I'm having something that would require it. I'm okay with the certain kinds of meat sticks. I say certain kinds when I put an asterisk next to that. Costco sells a brand that are refrigerated that have just beef, like grass-fed beef with some spices. They don't have any like the lactic acids or preservatives in them. That's why they're in the refrigerated section. Occasionally some Carnivore Crisps and a couple other things, but beyond that, that's it. Like, it's the most austere version I've ever done. And finally, it's working. I don't eat organ meats. I figure if you're eating the organ meats and you've given it a few attempts at it and you can barely do it, it's probably a sign that you don't need to do it. There are exceptions. If you can't stomach them, but the effect you get from them is so good that it's really frustrating, try those desiccated organ meat capsules, but I would suggest going online and buying some cheap ones because all the companies that sell them use the same source material anyway. So most of the time you're paying the premium price to get a big brand name when you can just get a cheap brand that's getting their organs from exactly the same place that those big brands are when you dig into it. Those supplements are actually kind of a scam. Not a scam that they don't work, a scam in what you're paying for. So just beware. And now, speaking of supplements, the supplements I take are, I take an immune boost one. Got small kids. I have a history of getting sick around them, so I've been taking that. I do take an allergy one because my allergies have not cleared up at all this far, and maybe later they will. But I have to take an allergy thing because Oklahoma, where I live, is just allergy central. It's really, really bad here most of the time. I take ZMA for relaxation, muscle rest, and being able to help me get to sleep at night. And I take creatine, the most studied supplement in the world. It helps with gym performance. It helps with mental clarity. It's a wonderful thing. But that's it. I don't take vitamin supplements, really. I don't take anything else. No need to. But yeah, it's been 8 weeks, 40 pounds down. It's a good start. I hope that I will have your support in continuing on this with some positive reinforcement. I know some people will say, well, you shouldn't be doing that kind of a diet. But if you're finding yourself in a comment section for our carnivore channel telling people to not do a carnivore diet, don't stop wasting your time. Anyway, that's the personal update. Thanks very much, folks. I'm Anthony Stine. Thanks for tuning in.